to start off with this third down conversion rate. And as you can see, those numbers are going in a way we don't want them to go, right, guys? Usually when the arrow points down, you don't want to go that way. You want the arrow to point up. In 2020, it was at 44.9%. In 2021, it was at 39.2. 2022, 38.1. 2023, 31.6. In 2024, last year, 29.5%. That is a third down conversion rate that stinks. And they run parallel to how horrible the defense looked, right?
Yeah, I mean, we talked a lot at the end of last season about the defense speaking out about the Browns basically not being able to stay on the field and control the ball. And we're going to cover two graphics that both have a lot to do with that. One on interceptions, the other one on third down conversions. And I think like you look at this team over the same we obviously had a change in coaching staff last year for offensive coordinator, line coach, and a couple of the other coaches, but for the most part this has been under Kevin Stefanski and the base of his system. Regardless of the coaching changes, we've steadily fallen every single year. So I directly, when I first saw this, immediately attributed this to quarterback play, because in my head, I think I just look at the quarterback that was at the helm for most of each of these seasons, or the lack of any consistency at the quarterback, and as that got worse and worse, our third down percentage got worse and worse. But I think there's other factors to that.
What is that?
That was my fault. Go ahead. Rookie mistake. It's my first time running a show, being behind the mic. My fault. I thought my phone was turned down, but it wasn't. Nonetheless, Mike, what is your opinion?
The dramatic drop the numbers show, whether it be, you can blame it on the offensive line, you can blame it on coordinators, you can blame it on whoever you want, but the numbers are there. I don't want to see that again this year. Hopefully 2025 coming into this year will be a whole new leaf, I guess. I don't want to see it go lower than 29.5. If we can go back to 38.1, maybe 39.2, I'm cool with that. But make it less, a lot less, please.
Yeah, a lot less, yeah. One thing I'll say is this, that also too, if you look at that percentage drop, you would see that also. I wish what I should have done was the quarterback, running back one that we posted. Did we post that one? If not, I have to send it to you. Of the carries that we've had running, the percentage, the pass run ratio, you would see that the run ratio is significantly lower in 2023 and 2024, and that can contribute to why those specific numbers are lower. So I'm hoping that this year that number will be higher for that purpose alone, because you have, whether it's Flacco or whether it's whatever quarterback, will put us in a better position in first and second down, to put us in favorable positions to get that first down. Because a lot of times we're behind the sticks. Because if you want to get into more numbers, I got numbers about how our penalties were not friendly to us last year too, our penalty percentage. So it was not favorable on offense in all aspects. So this number is just a little reflection of that. So I'm hoping I should go up next year, because I do think our run game is going to be better. And I'm hoping that you have a veteran back there that knows where to put the ball and get you in a better place to get a first down.
And you brought up a good point there, because I had attributed, of course, to the quarterback, because I'm just, like I said, I immediately thought of like, oh, Baker's best year was 2020 with us. Then he was injured the next year and we had a drop. Then the next year was Jacoby, who was pretty good for most of the season, but not quite Baker, and we had a drop. And then the next year is when it started getting all over the place. And then, but you just pointed out the penalties, and so, some people jumped in on Facebook, and I always fall back to, like, if you have a quarterback, some of this other stuff gets better, like the penalties. But they brought up, like, the penalties, of course, are an issue, because if you start farther back, you end up with third down and longs. The running game is bad. So not only do you have rougher time on first and second down, you can't trust 3rd and 3 like you used to be able to with Nick Chubb to just convert that. And you had Kareem Hunt, who somehow found a way to get 2 or 3 yards on every carry, no matter how plugged up the line was. So yeah, I would say this statistic is related to so many different things,
Yeah.
from quarterback to offensive line to running game to just bad execution and penalties. So this is the one thing that really kind of stands out as like a whole team offensive problem is here. And shout out to the conversation we had on Twitter, because people jumped in with a lot of statistics and we covered a lot of things. The other thing I just wanted to point out before we move on is the 2020 season, we were at what, 44.7 conversion rate. Last year, that would have been 7th in the NFL, behind the Buccaneers, Chiefs, Ravens, Lions,
Philly.
Bengals, and Commanders, all
Oh.
teams that had really good, balanced offenses or great quarterback play last year. So